G'day, beard brethren, Sheilas, fuckheads, and just all-round legends. Welcome to another week of Two Beards, a podcast of Wrexham AFC. I'm your host, Rousey. That is Adrian over there, hiding his bald head under his cap, but that's a sexy-looking cap.
The good old Ryan Reynolds hat. That's my new theory, is that Ryan Reynolds is just trying to hide male pattern baldness by wearing this everywhere he goes. So I'm trying to emulate that myself. So
Did you ever hear that theory actually that that caps can help send you balder earlier?
Oh yeah. But I mean, I kind of need it to happen because I'm at the point where it grows back super good at the wrong areas. So oh wow, look at that, it's there. So I'm like, I'd rather everything go bald. I want to go full on Bruce Willis, fucking bald.
Oh, that's right. So Sir Wrexham Texan the Third responded.
Yes,
Admitted defeat. So good on him. He took his licks. I've got to give him major props and respect for that.
For those who didn't see, he basically, just a context, because for those of us who are like, who the fuck is Wrexham Texan the Third? This bloke basically, good guy, but came out and took one of Rousey's comments out of context, placed it on the internet, where he made a joke that we're the best podcast on YouTube for Wrexham. And then he made a little skit saying that we're not even the best podcast with beards on Wrexham. And look, he did it out of context. Rousey destroyed him with a lovely video on how, like Crocodile Hunter-esque. You can see that in the link below as well. But Rousey, tell me what happened next. What happened after all of the fiasco? We sent the video. He was really good-hearted. We DM'd each other. It was lovely. We made peace. But what was the response on his pod?
So it was a strange one. So he admitted defeat. And then he's like, we'll call it a draw, but I win. I'm like, make up your mind. So, you know what? We'll put out a Twitter poll after this video goes live, and we'll ask the audience who won. And we'll go with that. But he's all right. We've had a good laugh. We had a good behind the scenes. But and he mentioned about fans only Discord chat. He said he doesn't know what goes on there because he's not in it. Well, that's because he's not a fuckhead. You got to pay $5 a month for that. But shout out to our fuckheads.
Best segue I've ever seen you do, mate. Well done.
Well, shout out to our fuckheads. We got Sarah. Exactly. We got Will. We got Aaron. We got Chris. And
John.
We got John. Yeah. And you know what? We have an absolute ball in our Discord chat. It's exclusive access to us. You can message us anytime. Provided we're awake, we'll probably respond. But it's great. We have a lot of fun, especially on game nights. Playing FC24 as well.
Yeah, like playing some EAFC 24. But I think probably the other thing to mention is it's not just about that. We understand we're not celebrities. We don't pretend to be. We do it just to have fun and hang out as a little gang as well. So we obviously give 10% off merch. We also give you probably what I believe is the biggest prize of them all, which is sweet fuck all. And that joke has definitely been done to death, and I still don't care. So we have fun with it, and honestly, thank you, fuckheads, for all of your support. Yep. And they get that exclusive content of me and Rousey just posting memes every couple of days. So good fun.
That's right. And you know what? We get the Discord. We got the giveaways as well that we do in Discord. Now we've got the FC24 team. So
that's right.
We're going places for Discord, and if you're not part of it, you're missing out. $5 a month is all it'll cost you to be a part of it. So twobeardsmedia.com. Links will be in the description. Look at our link tree as well. That'll give you direct access to that. And then, you get to join and see what our fans are all about. And speaking of fans, up after this, we're going to do another fan fuckery. 5 minutes fuckery.
I thought it was going to be OnlyFans. Oh, damn. I'm disappointed. Fuck. All right. Sorry. Segue. Do it again.
5 minute fan fuckery coming up. 5 minute fanfuckery is back for this episode. We have 3 questions from 3 of our listeners. Really tough questions, actually, and we encourage our listeners to ask whatever the fuck you want. So here we go. First up, we'll get this one out of the way. By Gareth Roberts. He asks, if you shaved your beards, what will your podcast be called? Now, let me preface this by saying there'll be a cold day in hell, but by the time I've shaved my beard, it ain't happening.
So, mate, if I shaved my beard, I'd look like a legitimate fucking thumb. Like I can't shave my beard. It's not even a choice thing. If I do it, people will mistake me and try to open up their iPhones with fingerprint technology with my fucking forehead. That's the problem.
Oh, but the question is, what would the podcast be called? Well, I reckon probably Two Babies, a podcast, and Wrexham AFC.
I mean, if you shaved your head as well, we could go with Two Thumbs, a podcast, and a Wrexham AFC.
Probably.
But also, I think I even think about it now. I'm like, yeah, if we didn't do it, would it be Two Beards, Two Aussies, Two? What would we go with? But
the Gumby podcast.
I don't know what, we could probably just. Who else? I'm trying to think. We don't even have any people with shaved heads other than like crew cuts, like Ollie Palmer, Elliot Lee. They got the close. So maybe we just make a play off of that.
The fade. It's the fade that's coming back. And I rock a fade whenever I go to get my hair cut. So, I don't know. We'll see. Well, it's a tough one, but I'll probably say with two babies, a podcast and Wrexham AFC.
Yeah, it's a good one.
There we go. So I say babies, and Adrian says thumbs. Now, Michael at Thrifty Nerd says, why do you do weird things to your pies? Well, that's the thing. We had this discussion last time, and we don't think it's weird. This is just normal for us.
Wait, which part of what we said about where we square our special sauce, or are we talking about actual ketchup in the bottle?
I don't know. Maybe they think that just putting the sauce in the pie is weird, but I wouldn't think that was weird.
Nah, honestly, a meat pie, I think it's funny because if you put it on top of the meat pie, you're just getting it on the lid of the pie. So when you bite into it, you've got, I don't know, especially with us with a beard, I don't know if it happens to you, mate, but if I put sauce on top of the meat pie, it's just going all over my mustache. Whereas if you pop the nozzle into the top of the lid of the pie, squeeze, and then good times.
Just try it. Don't knock it till you try it. That's what we say. Rip some sauce out, whack it in your pie.
Tomato sauce clarifying as well. There was some questions around that as well. They were saying, what kind of sauce do we use? And we used the tomato sauce.
Got to be tomato. At a pinch, maybe barbecue.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm going to try this coming weekend?
No.
I'm going to put some HP sauce in there.
Actually, I love HP sauce. That works.
Oh, it's the best.
That works. But that'd be a hard one to do, though. I think. I mean, depends on the type of HP bottle you've got. But if you've got the traditional glass bottle of HP, you either get 2 ways about it. Either you'll get nothing out of it, or you'll get the whole entire contents of it inside of the pie.
Actually, there's a shop nearby, which has won a lot of awards for pie contests. And what they do, they've got this pie, and they coat the bottom of the pie with Vegemite. And they put the meat in it, and then they've got that nice runny cheese on top, and then they obviously close the pie off and cook it. Fucking hands down the best fucking pie ever.
Vegemite, man.
Oh, it's just that Vegemite with the cheese and the meat. It's just...
Oh. I'm a Vegemite fan, mate, but I just can't even think about that with a meat pie. I don't know what that would be like.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
It gives it a nice little kick. It's really good.
We should probably put that as a call out. Mark Griffiths, you are obviously the pie lord, the pie master. Lord of the Pies. What I think we should do is we should definitely, whenever we get to Wrexham, we ask him to, we basically just do a pie test, and we just go to every local bakery, we go to every kind of thing, and we get different types of pies and we test it out. We could probably do it maybe when I meet up one time, but I definitely think
I
it's
honestly
worth a
think
shot.
this, right?
I just want pies, mate.
The UK has the best fish and chips, hands down.
Yeah,
Australia has the best pies. But, hang on, let me backtrack this a little bit. When we come to Wrexham, I will determine this fact for good by eating pies around Wales and England. I will then retract that statement if I think English pies are better, but I just think Australian pies have got it. Oh, they're good.
So basically, listeners, if you're getting the drift of what we're putting down, we want to get sponsored by someone who is a travel company that also sells pies. Because if we could go to Wales and just eat pies, I think that'd be the fucking dream, right? That's everyone's dream, right?
Absolutely. And now the last one, one of our fuckheads has decided to weigh in with an absolute doozy of a question.
Oh, no.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Oh, my Lord.
Phil Parkinson, Elliot Lee, Mark Griffiths. Right.
Wait, what? So it's a fuck, marry, kill of Phil Parkinson. I hate that. I hate the one where
it's
like
the worst bloody question ever.
No. Well,
how the hell are we supposed to answer that one?
You know what it should be? It should be fuck, marry, pass. Because I don't want to kill any of those boys.
Oh dear. Okay. Sadly, I think. Oh, this is the
worst. This is actually, you know what?
Worst bloody question ever. But if I had to choose, you put a gun to my head and you had to choose, I would say, fuck Elliot Lee.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was a given.
Yeah. Marry Mark Griffiths.
Yep, same.
And purely by process of elimination, it's got to be kill Phil Parkinson. As much as I love the bloke.
I feel like that sentence is going to come back to haunt us in some way. Sometime we'll get Phil on as a guest and he'll be like, hey guys, I tried to listen to you guys, and Rousey said a very big statement that he wants to kill me. Is that
we don't condone violence here on Two Beards. It's not something we are about. We are all about spreading the love and spreading the special sauce, and smoking weed. But hey, so that ends 5-minute fanfuckery. Up next, we will review the women's game that just happened. But this one's going to be Adrian's segment. You'll see what happens up next. Roll it. So our women had a really good start and then a loss against Cardiff just recently. Myself, I actually didn't get to see the game. I was passed out asleep. I completely forgot that it was on. So sorry, women. I still fucking love you though. Like, you guys are an amazing team.
I love them.
But Adrian over here did watch the game. Adrian, how was it?
Oh, look, it wasn't great, and it's not because of Wrexham by any means. It was just coming up against the best team in the competition, and that is Cardiff. The women have this innate sense of being able to take it to anyone and everyone, no matter who they are. And maybe the scoreline doesn't reflect it correctly. Yes, 3-0 is a big loss, but their first half was immense. Being able to put them toe to toe with their caliber of players is something that I didn't think we could see straight off the bat. I thought we might get a clobbering, but I would say the first half we were definitely in it, and it wasn't over until maybe the second goal went in, and then it kind of looked like we were done and dusted. Del Morgan actually came out on Twitter or X or whatever, and she made a tweet, and I feel like I want to address it. She goes, 3 goals, 3 mistakes, not a great not a great game from me, or disappointed in myself, something along those lines. And I feel like that's not the right way to be. And I feel like we have had in the past, our goalkeepers, men or women, coming out and saying, it was their fault. That's not the case. That's not what I saw.
Yeah,
That's not what I don't think anyone saw.
I'm going to preface this by saying that is um, when you can be that critical of your own performance, that is a champion's mindset, so to speak. So not many people know, but I used to be a quite a high level cyclist. Before that, I was a triathlete and a swimmer before that. I was always represented at the highest level, and um, if I put in a bad performance or if I missed out on a certain time on the track by, so much, I would be like, well, if I missed a sprint, I would then start analyzing where I went wrong and what I did wrong, where I made mistakes or what I could have done better. And you would be quite often really hard on yourself because you would want to feel that pain. You want to feel that disappointment. You want to feel as much as you can so you don't do it again. And it almost drives you forward to say, yeah, fucking let's go. I'm not going to make this mistake again. And more often than not, then you back it up the next week and you do absolutely amazing. So, maybe that's just Dale Morgan's mindset. Don't know.
Possibly. I think that's a great point. It is, it's amazing to be, so critical of yourself and in also a public forum to also make that claim. But that's not what I saw. I saw someone who was putting in a shift, and, they were breaking our defensive lines quite well. There were those 3 opportunities and they were 3 goals, but they weren't 3 missed saves. They were a culmination of Cardiff are another level. They are another level, and we would be remiss to not give them any credit. And also, our defensive line, we do our best when we're holding up the fort, and I think that they exploited that. Cardiff was able to kind of maneuver the ball around a little bit better than we did in the forward half. And I think that's just how it ended up being 3-0. So 3-0, Del Morgan, you're a bloody legend. Super Del Morgan in goal. Amazing. Like you said, Rousey, champion mindset. But I just want to make that call out that I don't think anyone believes it was solely a goalkeeper's mistake. It was just a off game against the champions, and we will come back knowing what we know now. Like you said, come back the next week much better. And whoever they've got next, I actually haven't checked the fixture. It's gonna be a big one.
Well, that's right. That's right. Well, let's hope our women keep pushing on and keep doing us proud, and I'm sure they will. But so I tell you who is doing better, our men. So we'll talk about that after this. So we had 2 games during the week, which is absolute bliss for us. So we obviously had the game on Wednesday morning our time, which was against Mansfield, and then we had Crawley on the weekend. Now,
Big one.
we'll quickly talk about the Mansfield game. Geez, the boys put in a shift.
It's probably the best outcome I could have hoped for such an away match of just, it was an onslaught. Mansfield were the better team. They came out basically firing all cylinders, and Okonkwo had an absolute shift. Evans, incredible. We were very lucky to walk away with a draw, but that does not discredit what the boys put in, and that is getting a draw, taking a point on the road against a team who's hit form and played the way they did. That's huge. So that's more of a Wrexham. That when we talk about draws that feel like wins, that's a draw that felt like a win.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was quite a back and forth game. Luke Young again didn't start. I'm kind of like wondering what's going on there because he also didn't start for Crawley as well. So, And obviously we had Barnett off with a red card, so he's off for 3 games. So he won't be back for Salford. He'll be back the week after.
Yep.
Um, but we had Mendy on the right hand side, which was an interesting um, development. Obviously, in interviews, Parky said, it's something we thought he was capable of. And I think he did all right. I think that having Mendy through there with McLean on the other side is just all deadly. And Tom O'Connor in defense as well. I was quite impressed. I was quite
I think
impressed with Tom O'Connor in defense for some reason. I watched him play. He was getting involved, especially we'll talk about the Crawley game in a second. But he was pressing up. He was making tackles. He was pretty damn good in defense. I'm not going to lie. I almost quite prefer him because we got such a promising midfield now that maybe Tom O'Connor slots into that defensive role. What do you think?
possibly. I mean, I'm looking at the lineup of what we had. Like you said, we had McLean on the left and then Mendy on the right, and then that also played out on the weekend before Mendy's injury, which we'll go into in a moment as well. But I think, yeah, it's a great call. O'Connor on that, like, what was it? Yeah, he was just playing off that centre back, or sorry, off the left back there. And he put in a shift. Fortmore actually had him as one of the highest rated players on the pitch. The only person who got a higher score, or only two players who got higher scores were Aaron Hayden, 7.9, and Okonkwo got an 8.5 man of the match. And if I was going to look at that just from what we saw, I would probably agree. Yeah, those top three were Okonkwo. I mean, he does things that a lot of keepers can't, and that's purely because of his stature, but also he's so cool, calm, and collected. I've never seen a goalkeeper. It's not that he's not passionate, but he's just
He's a
so
cool cat.
focused.
He's a cool cat.
Cool cat, great wording. He's a cool cat. He knows how to handle it, and yeah, he just gets on with it. So I think that's another reason why he was man of the match. Aaron Hayden, being superstar that he is, has just been putting in shifts week in, week out. And hopefully, fingers fucking across that a stone doesn't kick up and take him out of contention in terms of
Yeah,
injury.
or wind blows in the wrong
Wind
direction.
blows, that's the one, yeah. But
Or,
love Aaron Hayden.
or someone farts in his general direction.
There you go. There you go. I thought he was about to explode just then, but no,
Yes.
but like
That's a
it is
Monty Python joke for those who don't know.
I thought in your general direction.
Yes. Oh, Monty Python, best show ever. Anyway,
Love
so
it.
I don't know. Look, I think it was a really, really promising display from the boys.
Yeah.
There were a few opportunities there which they probably could have got a goal.
Mhm.
You know, a little bit leaky in defense still. There's a few little heart stopping moments, but then brings on Crawley, which we won, which is interesting because I predicted a loss. I was trying to be a
Mm.
realist, and all of a sudden we win. So maybe I should start just saying we're going to lose every game. I don't know.
I've been saying that for weeks, mate. You should get on the negative bandwagon and just be absolutely miserable every week like I am. No, but
But
honestly, I think you made a very good call because it was the danger game out of the two. If we were going to lose one, if we had to pick one you would lose, I would assume it would have been the Crawley game. I predicted a win against Mansfield, which didn't happen, and I predicted a draw against Crawley, which didn't happen.
we
So,
beat second in the league.
well, they're not anymore, are they?
Not anymore, but they were, and they were on a good run, and we beat them 1-0 and on their turf, which is even
Exactly.
more significant. Few things come from that match, which we're still waiting to hear news from. Obviously, first one is Jacob Mendy going down with an injury,
Yeah.
tweaked his hamstring by the sounds of it. Not good. Not good.
Especially after we realized that having them on either wing, McLean
Yep.
and Mendy on either wing, is godly. So it's kind of shattering that we find that out as he's injured. I'm hoping it's just a 2-3 weeker and he'll be back in no time. But I have a feeling, just for the fact that he was immediately subbed without even trying to test it out, that he might be out for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think so. And then also we had Andy Cannon come on for a whopping 8 minutes or so, and he ended up getting himself a red card.
I don't
Tackle
use
that,
the
but
word Muppet lightly, but he was a fucking Muppet. Like he just literally, like that was the silliest tackle I've seen. And it's just like, bro, you're trying to prove your spot. And I get what he was trying to do. He's like, oh, because he fucked up the first attempt, right? He fucked it up, didn't get it off the player. So he tried to put his foot in, he missed completely. The guy came back around, so he ran V-lined back for him. And of course, with all the momentum and all the force, chopped the guy. And I'll be honest, at the time, I was a bit like, I don't think that was a red. I think that was a yellow. Saw it again, and I was like, Andy Cannon, I love you, mate, but you're a muppet, because that was silly, 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 silly. And I'll put it to you: whose was worse, Barnett's or Cannon's?
Cannons.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's because it was just a brain fade. Barnett tried to do something
But that said, he
as a
was
play.
lucky that he did it where he did and not just a few centimeters further, because that would have been a penalty. But we have to talk about Conquo again. Clean sheets.
He's gonna make a
What a
joke here.
cool
You could just
cat.
see his mind tick over about clean sheets.
Oh, geez. Well, that's one way to shut down a joke. No, look, clean sheets. The guy is an absolute cool cat. I'm going to call him the cool cat from now on, because
Cool
I don't know
cat.
if you've seen his reach and how tall this guy is, but like there's a shot of him. He's like leaning over on a 45-degree angle. His arm is like fucking outstretched, and he's got his hand on the ball, and like I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. And he's just, yeah. I mean, yeah, look, he's obviously prone to a few mistakes here and there, but he hasn't given it up just yet. And
No,
seeing how well he's doing, maybe he doesn't, you know, maybe it's got to be a bit of a different dynamic with the back three. Um, because obviously he doesn't talk as much, or if the word is that he's not as vocal or as loud, but the dude's just chilling, mate, doing his thing, smoking a spliff in the goal, and just,
he
nice.
honestly, bro, like he couldn't be any cooler. And I think we need to lock him up pretty quick. And for those of who don't know, he wasn't signed. He's on loan from Arsenal. And if we keep, how do I put it? The better he gets, it's great for us short term, but the harder it is that we're going to get to sign him. Now, I think his contract goes up in the summer, or is it the end of the season? No, end of the
January we
season.
have the opportunity to sign him. So comment down below if you think we should sign him, and what are your thoughts are of
100%.
Conquo so far. Um,
100%.
we're
Right.
interested to know what you guys think, and by all means engage us in some discourse and stuff. We would love to chat with you. So yeah, let us
Very
know what you
cool.
think about a Conquo. But the game ended up with a win, which is great, which puts us back in playoff contention, all set for the coming games. So here we go. Let's have a look at the games coming up. Okay. So we got some games coming up, right? And we've got a Conco in form. We got Mullen, who looks like he's getting more dialed in. We've got a very strong front line. Ollie Palmer obviously scored in the previous game. Epic goal, by the way. So he's doing well. So our front line is looking very, very established, very, very strong, and our goalkeeper is looking very promising. But the two games we got coming up, so we got Crew Alexandria again on Tuesday, and then followed by Salford City. Now, Crew Alexandria, we know what to expect from them at this stage, don't we? I mean, there can be a tough team to come up against. Do we get another draw? Do we get a win? I mean, it's an EFL trophy. Like, what team they're going to put forward? They're going to bring their best because it's Wrexham. What do we do? Like, what? How do you see this happening, Adrian?
I think with Crew Alexandra, they have two options here. They can obviously keep pushing forward with the team that they've got, and that almost took full 3 points against us. Or they take the opportunity to do what we're going to be doing, which is basically trialing players who maybe aren't a part of the EFL roster. So, for example, we've got McFadzine, I can never pronounce it correctly. McFadzine, we've got Billy Waters, we've got Hassana, we've got these players who can actually play these games. So, from what I understand, whether they're on the bench or whether they're in the starting lineup is another story. We will be doing that, I feel. So, that could mean that we have a different dynamic and it could cost us. Or it could be the same thing that Crew does, and Crew could put in some players who maybe weren't on their EFL roster that they want to just keep their legs warm, keep them going for a little bit longer, and hopefully test out if they're going to keep them in the roster or put them in the roster come January. So I think you're right. I reckon it could be just another draw. But what I want to ask you is,
Well, it can't be a draw. It's a trophy game.
Do trophy games go to extra time?
It goes no. Go. I think they changed it this year. They go straight for penalties. I could be wrong. If we are, let us know.
Well, actually, looking
sure.
at the trophies, yeah, here you go. You can look at the table. No, it looks like it does allow for it, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong here. But anyways, regardless, I don't think it'll get to that anyways. I think hopefully we can, get something from it. But the big thing I want to ask you actually, Rousey, is there is a bit of a there is a discourse around the fact that all these academy teams are obviously being put in, and it's kind of ruining the idea of this trophy and kind of its prestigiousness of it. What are your thoughts when we play against teams who are not academy teams? Do you think it should be something that, we should be flocking in numbers, or does the protest continue to those teams who are non-academy as well? If that makes sense.
That is what is it with the hard questions today? Fuck me dead.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
It's not just you, far out. No, I think I get the discourse behind the whole academy players playing. But just to when we look at the Newcastle game, for instance, it was very one-sided. Your kids are playing proper professional men. So
it's literally men against boys.
Yeah.
And I think you've literally nailed that on the head. It's men against boys. It shouldn't happen. But when you've got now, the Wrexham men against the Crew men, are we talking again, this is another derby in the sense that obviously I use quotation because I always just call the main derby Chester and Shrewsbury, but this obviously being another close proximity derby. Do you think it's something that should be a packed stadium on a midweek?
Yeah, I think it will.
Yep.
I think whatever game Wrexham play at this stage at home or away, it just seems to be getting packed every single game. We see it all the time happening. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And it's a Wrexham effect in full flight.
That's it. Wrexham are massive everywhere we go.
It's insane. It's insane. So we talk about the Crawley game.
Crawley or the Salford again on the weekend?
Oh yeah, no, sorry. What the fuck? Yeah, we're talking about Salford. Thank you, mate.
No, you're
it's been a long day, all right. It's been a long fucking day.
Rousey's in a new job as well, guys. And I don't know if you guys have started a new job recently or remember when you started a new job. It takes so much mental capacity out of it because you've got to learn completely new routines that you had done autonomously. Now, all of a sudden, he's doing it. So we give Rousey a bit of slack. Usually I'd give him a bit of stick, but he's got excuse this time.
No, we talk about the Salford game. Okay, Salford. Well, I think you called it the plastic derby or something. So we got
that's what every fucking fan says now. They're like, oh yeah, Wrexham are trying to do what Salford tried to do and failed.
So obviously it's the Manchester United conglomerate
consortium.
And obviously part of that is David Beckham. Speaking of David Beckham, If you would like us to
Segue.
review the Netflix episode of David Beckham, let us know. Sing it loud, and we'll do a review episode of Beckham, which is currently on Netflix, which looks
We
really
can.
good. But
We
anyway,
can.
so we come to Salford City, another fucking team that's just starting to hit form
Every
every
time.
single time.
Rousey literally goes to me, we're going to talk about this. Let's just look at their form before we, start the pod. And he goes retrospectively. He's like, okay, so they won, but then they lost like the first however many games. And I was like, oh, so that'll be right. And then Raz like, yep, they're in form. And they are, my friend. They are in form. And it is something to look out for. We had them quite high in our predictions for promotion. Definitely we had them in those automatic promotion slots just because we thought, maybe they had gotten it right with their injection of money and trying to purchase, the right players and do the right thing, what people are accusing Wrexham of doing. But I like to think we're doing it more successfully because the ladder reflects that. So, but I think what I want to put to you, mate, is if we are now coming up against another team who's in form off of the back of however many losses, but they're on form again, do we pull another formation like we did on the weekend against Crew? And we try and score and then shut it down. Obviously, when we went down to 10 men, you could tell by the subs that were made, we were parking the bus. But
Well, I
do
mean,
you
look,
think
with
we attempt it again?
No Mendy, no Barnett for this game.
Yeah, it's hard to do
That's
that,
going to
right?
be a hard one because that's a big hole to fill. But that said, it's at the Stoke Kairos, and we all know what
The
teams are going to
Stoke
do
Kairos.
when they come to the race course. It's a tough venue for any team to come to and play against us at home. So, yes, they're in form, but they are coming up against us at home. We did just beat Crawley away as well. Players
That's got to be a
losing.
confidence
Ugh,
booster.
it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We got to find someone that's going to run down that right hand side. Um,
Do you
Obviously,
think that? Oh, sorry. I
no,
just
no, go for it.
like. Do you think that because we have that hole in it, like we've already tried O'Connor in a different position, right? Do we then go, okay, well, we get Tozer back in and then put O'Connor down that way because he can run? But I'm like, I know it's again, he's off position. I feel like O'Connor's been made to fill plugs, fill
Mm,
holes, plug holes in the lineup. But I mean, at this point in time, I guess it kind of is that way, right?
yeah, I mean, is McAlinden healthy? Or is
To be honest, mate, I don't know. And then that's another one is that, you know, someone made a very good point. It's like, oh, Mendy's out, Barnett's out. Is this some time to panic? And I think Josh Driscoll actually commented on Twitter, and he said, "Nothing to worry about. We have one of the deepest squads in the league." And I was like, "Do we?" And then I looked back at like our full lineup, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" We've got players that are just sitting in the wings that were champions for us last year,
mm,
e.g., Max Clearworth. We've got obviously Mr. Will Boyle who missed out last week. He could come straight back in. You've got these opportunities to bring these people in or trial, like you said, the younger generation, maybe like a McAlinden or someone like that to put them
what
down there.
if?
I don't know
What if
what
though?
happens, but
What if? Because I think Fletcher plays a little bit on the right. Maybe you could put him in that position.
I don't know. He can only do it for about 20 or 30 minutes, though. Like,
I
it's
don't
a
know.
hard position.
I wouldn't count him out. I mean, obviously he's had some time now to get his fitness up. Maybe he's got a full 70 minutes in him.
Yeah,
Maybe.
then you'd have to rest him for 2 weeks. Fuck me. Like,
But can you imagine that? Fletcher, it'll be Fletcher, McLean, Lee, Palmer, Mullen, all on the
I'm
field
just
at the same
looking, I'm
time.
just trying to find the last time he didn't play in that like front three or front two or whatever the formation would have been in that front half. I'm trying to find the last time he did that. And I reckon the last time he did was actually international. When he was playing for Scotland. So possibly, and it was obviously a long time ago that he was doing that. So who knows? Who knows? But look, League
So
Two is heating up. So really good
it
fun.
is, and it's closer than I think it's ever been for quite some time.
Yep.
it's all over the place and it's just close. And it's, Notts County obviously doing very, very well at the moment. And then everyone else is, jumping about the places a little bit. But, Notts County are not infallible. They've shown that they can be beaten. However, Crawley prediction.
Salford prediction.
Yeah.
No, it's the Salford prediction, not Crawley.
Salford prediction. Fuck me dead. I'm so out of it. Okay. Viewers, just fucking forgive me. Just ignore me today. I'm so tired and just my brain's all gone to mush. All right. So Crawley prediction, I'm actually going to go with a 2-0 win.
Ooh. That's pretty good. Another clean sheet. That's pretty big. Obviously, when this airs, the midweek game, obviously the EFL Trophy will be done. So yeah, no point in predicting that. But I never really looked at the Salford game and went, "Oh, what the scoreline would be." I think you're onto something. I don't think a Conquo at home would be letting in too many if we can hold up our defensive movements. So yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 win. I don't know. I still think, we've got Palmer, we've got Mullen, we've got Fletcher, we've got Lee, these people who can put it in the back of the net. But I've also noticed how well teams are adapting to shutting down Mullen and trying to keep him out of the game. It's just whether we get a loose ball and, a Palmer, someone who is not being marked up as heavily, can actually get through. So I'm going 1-0. And you're going with 2-0. But I just want to make something really, really cool little announcement that just came through from the Wrexham Twitter. This will be 2 days old now when you hear about it on the pod. But we have just re-signed an extension contract for James Jones. So
Hey.
he says, I'm delighted to have signed. It's a special club to be at, and I've enjoyed my time here. So he's actually extended his contract to stay until the end of the 2024-25 season. So that extra year extended, he's being rewarded for, 2 years extension technically. He's being rewarded for his efforts. And I'll be honest, I was a big heavy critic of him. I think I was not giving him the credit he deserved. I just thought he was kind of making up the numbers. But I've been proven wrong time and time again by him this season. When we need him, he's been able to step up. So good on you, James Jones,
Yes.
and to proving me wrong.
Good on him. All right. Well, so we've got 1-0 for Adrian and myself. I'm going 2-0. And I'm actually going to say Mullen and Fletcher will score. But
Yep.
we'll see.
Very
We'll
nice.
soon see on the weekend. I would like Elliot Lee back on the scoreboard, though. But
That's
he's
what
be
I'm predicting
careful.
for a one. If we do a 1-0, it'd be Elliot Lee on the score sheet.
Yep. All right. After this, we'll wrap things up. Let's go. So that's the podcast for another week. We are pleased every single week to bring this to you guys and try and bring you as
So
much
happy.
up-to-date news, especially, to our Aussie followers. And we see you, USA, we see you. We got some good all around the world followers at the moment, and this is it's really pleasing. So, I encourage you to share this if you like it. Share, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Become a fuckhead. Why not? Why would you not want to be a fuckhead? Everyone wants to be a fuckhead at the end of the day. So let's do that.
I'm putting that on the shirt.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a fuckhead.
Oh dear. So yeah, stay tuned. Review episodes coming up, and let us know. Let us know if you think we should do a Beckham review from Netflix. And if you do want to see it, we will do one because we're all about our listeners, aren't we?
Yes, we are. And I want to put out another call out. And this is just to kind of wrap things up. I know that we have our fan fuckery has returned, and we really enjoy you guys doing it. And if we haven't selected your question, don't be offended. It's just maybe when we recorded it, we hadn't received it. So what I really recommend you do is you can even comment below. You don't have to do it just through Twitter. You can go through the comments here. If you've got a question for us, we'll answer it. And if we haven't answered your question from last week, feel free to repeat it and say, hey guys, did you see my question? We'll happily do that because we want to make sure you all feel included and a part of it, because you really are. You guys, we literally don't have a pod without you. We thank you so much. And Rousey, take us home.
All right. So that's us for another week. Thank you, beard brethren, Sheilas, fuckheads, and just all round legends. You know where to find us. Links below. Everything you need is there. twobeardsmedia.com. We will see you guys on the next Two Beards. Bye.